clock is ticking louder than my heart tonight, counting every minute since you took the light. I left your sweater on the velvet chair, still smells like memories in the cold night air. I'm tracing outlines of the life we planned, but it's slipping through my fingers like the desert sand. And the silence is a heavy sound of a million words that didn't stick around. Now it's just shadows on my wall, dancing in the gray, ghost of your laughter from a better day. I reach for your hand, but the room's gone cold, buying back the promises that you already sold. I'm a flickering candle in a hollow heart, chasing the shadows on my wall. I saw your car pass by on 5th and Main. I almost called your name through the window pane. Then I remembered how the story ends. We're strangers now with a list of mutual friends. I'm rewriting every text I never sent, wondering where the forever actually went. They say that time is a healer, but time is a thief. It steals the joy and it leaves the grief. You're a silhouette in every doorway I see. Why did you leave the ghost but take the rest of me? Tired of the view, it's just me in the dark and the ghost of you. You used a velvet voice to break my world in two. Like every poison word was seasoned with the truth. You whispered always while you looked toward the door, building up a kingdom you were burning to the floor. It wasn't in a scream, it wasn't in a fight, just a steady stream of darkness dressed in blinding light. The cruelest kind of weapon is a gentle, steady hand, drawing lines in water and calling it the land. It was the lies you told softly, right against my skin, breathing in love forever where there never had into safety while you pulled the thread away. Painting over midnight and promising the day. I believe the honey, I didn't feel the sting of the lies you told softly about everything. You said I'm tired when you meant you'd had enough. You called it growing when the road was getting rough. I memorized the lullabies you sang to keep me blind while you were packing up the pieces of the life we left behind. I looked for cracks in the armor, but the surface was too sweet. I didn't know the ground was moving underneath my feet. If you had shouted, I'd have known to run. If you had hit me, I'd have seen the gun. But you were kind with your betrayal. You were tender with the knife. You bled the color out of every corner of my life. It was the lies you told softly, right against my skin, breathing in the forever where the never had been. You tucked me into safety while you pulled the thread away. Painting over midnight and promising the day. I believe the honey, I didn't feel the sting of the lies you told softly about everything. Your voice is in my head like a beautiful broken bell, telling me it's heaven while you're walking me through hell. So soft, so sweet, the sound of your deceit, filled with the haunting whispered harmony. I woke up and reached for the radio dial, looking for a sound that can mimic your smile. But the room is a vacuum, a box made of glass, watching the ghosts of our conversations pass. I tried to say good morning to the empty air, but my own voice sounded like a stranger stood there. The timbre is thin and the resonance is gone. The walls are expanding, the ceiling is high, and every hello is a beautiful lie. Now everything is hollow without the sound of you. A symphony of nothing in a world of faded blue. Your laugh was the anchor, your whisper was the light. Now I'm drifting through a canyon in the middle of the night. I'm a shell on the shore where the tide used to roll. It's hollow, so hollow in the center of my soul. In the center of my soul. The kettle is whistling a sharp, lonely note. I've got a year's worth of stories stuck in my throat. I saw something funny on the way home today. Then I realized I have nowhere to send it away. The a home. Now the frequency's flat and the music has died. I'm just an empty hallway with nowhere to hide. Sound needs a surface to bounce back again, but I'm hitting the edges of where and of when. I'm shouting your name just to hear the vibration, but I'm met with the ache of a dead radio station. Now everything is hollow without the sound of you. A symphony of nothing in a world of faded blue. Your laugh was the anchor, your whisper was the light. Now I'm drifting through a canyon in the middle of the night. I'm a shell on the shore where the tide used to roll. It's hollow, so hollow in the center of my soul.
Can you hear that? The way the air just hangs. It's so quiet it hurts. Hollow. Hollow without you. The sound of a single piano key fading out.
I stepped up to the table with my heart held in my hand, thinking I could beat the odds that no one understands. I put my chips on always, I bet it all on us. But the dealer had a hollow soul and a deck of cards like rust. I played the hand you dealt me, I didn't see the bluff until I realized that giving everything just wasn't quite enough. The house always wins, or so the stories go, and I'm just another dreamer with nothing left to show. They told me love is a battlefield, but it's just a crooked game, where the winner takes the memories and the loser takes the blame. I'm walking out the lobby, penniless and cold, trading in the silver for the lies that I was sold. I played for keeps, but I should've known the name. Love is a losing game. There's a neon sign that flickers where the forever used to be. Now it's just a warning light for everyone but me. I kept doubling my kindness, I kept raising up the stakes, ignoring all the sirens and the screeching of the brakes. I thought if I stayed honest, I could change the way it ends. But you can't win a fortune when the rules depend on trends. Is there a secret exit? Is there a back room door where people go when they can't afford to feel it anymore? I'm checking all my pockets for a piece of who I was before I gambled everything just because, just because. keeps, but I should have known the name. Love is a losing game. Fold my hand, I'm walking away. I don't have the currency to live another day like this. No more bets, the lights are going dim. It's a losing game, and you're the one who wins. The tide is coming in to claim the shoreline for its own. I'm standing in the footprints of a girl I've never known. We wrote our names in cursive where the phone meets the land, with a confidence that only two young hearts could understand. You swore you'd be the anchor, you swore you'd be the shore, but the ocean doesn't listen to those stories anymore. The moon is pulling harder on the edges of the deep, and I'm losing all the secrets that you promised you would keep. They were just promises kept in sand, waiting for the wave. A beautiful disaster that we weren't strong enough to save. I built a castle out of words, you built a wall out of the wind, and now I'm watching where the ending and the sea begin. Wash it all away, let the water take my hand, 'cause you can't build a life on promises kept in sand. The sunrise looks different when you're watching it alone. The salt is in the air and it's chilled me to the bone. I tried to trace the letters, tried to find a single trace, but the current is a master at erasing every face. You didn't use a chisel, you didn't use a stone, you used the drift and feeling, and you left me on my own. Water is a witness and the wind is just a thief, stealing every always and replacing it with grief. I'm looking at the horizon where the blue meets the gray, wondering how something so heavy could just wash away. They were just promises kept in sand, waiting for the wave. A beautiful disaster that we weren't strong enough to save. I built a castle out of words, you built a wall out of the wind, and now I'm watching where the ending and the sea begin. Wash it all away, let the water take my hand, 'cause you can't build a life on promises kept in sand. The shore is smooth again, like we never even stood here. The glass is broken, the path is clear, just a grain of salt, just a shift in the land, leaving it all behind in the sand. Ooh. the hallway with that look upon your face, like a 5-cent Band-Aid for a wound across this space. You say the words so lightly, like it's dust upon your sleeve, but it won't fix the mirror or the reasons why I leave. I've heard it in the morning, and I've heard it at the dawn, but a word is just a shadow when the substance is all gone. You're trying to pay $1 million with a coin you found outside, but there isn't enough silver for the places that you lied. And sorry is not enough to put the pieces back in line. It's a broken umbrella in a hurricane of mine. You can't just say the syllables and hope the fire dies, when I can see the wreckage reflecting in your eyes. It's a day late, a heart short, a hollow kind of stuff. No, sorry is not enough. I'm looking at the places where your promises fell through. I'm trying to find the us inside the sorry from the you. It's a comfortable escape, a little trapdoor in the floor, but I've walked that path 1,000 times and I can't take it anymore. You used it like a currency until the bank went dry. Now you're standing in the vacuum, wondering why I didn't cry. If sorry built a bridge, we'd be halfway to the moon. If sorry was a song, we'd be forever out of tune. But it's just a puff of air, it's just a scratch upon the glass. It doesn't stop the freight train that's about to let us pass. And sorry is not enough to put the pieces back in line. It's a broken umbrella in a hurricane of mine. You can't just say the syllables and hope the fire dies, when I can see the wreckage reflecting in your eyes. It's a day late, a heart short, a hollow kind of stuff. No, sorry is not enough. Keep the word, I've got plenty in the drawer. I don't need the I'm sorry, I just needed something more. Save your breath, the air is getting thin. Sorry is where we don't begin.
I found a box of envelopes beneath the floorboards of my mind, full of sentences I started but could never quite unwind. The ink is dry and faded on the dear, I hope you will. But the middle of the page is where the heavy silence fell. I was trying to explain the way the morning hit the floor, but I stopped before I told you I don't know Every comma is a heartbeat, every dash is a mistake. A gallery of promises I wasn't brave enough to make. They're just half-written love letters scattered on the bed, the ghosts of all the forever things that never got to be said. I got stuck on the I miss you, I got lost in the I tried, leaving all the best parts of us locked away inside. A symphony of fragments, a story with no end, just half-written love letters I'm never gonna send. I've got 3 pages of reasons why I should have made you stay, but the ink ran out on page 4 and I threw the pen away. It's a graveyard of intentions, it's a ledger of the loss, counting up the feelings without figuring the cost. I can't find the right adjective to describe the way it burns to be a chapter in a book that nobody ever turns. Maybe if I finished one, the weight would finally lift. Maybe if I signed my name, I'd understand the drift. But the ending is a mountain that I'm too tired to climb, so I leave them in the margins, just a victim of the time. They're just half-written love letters scattered on the bed, the ghosts of all the forever things that never got to be said. I got stuck on the I miss you, I got lost in the I tried, leaving all the best parts of us locked away inside. A symphony of fragments, a story with no end, just half-written love letters I'm never gonna send. Yours truly feels like lying, best regards is much too cold, so I'll leave the paper empty, let the yellow edges fold, just a signature missing, just a heart that's still wishing. Half-written. Just like us. I told my feet to walk, but they're frozen to the floor. I told my eyes to look away when you walk through the door. I promised my reflection that we'd finally had enough, that I was made of iron and I learned to play it tough. But the second that you call, I'm a house of cards and rain, building up the hope just to justify the pain. I'm a traitor to my senses, a rebel in my skin, opening the gates and letting the winter back in. I'm failing my own heart, I'm letting myself down, I'm swimming back to wreckage just to watch myself drown. I know the way this story ends, I've read it page by page, but I'm still the lonely actor trapped inside the stage. I swore I'd be my hero, I swore I'd make a start, but I'm just a victim of failing my own heart. My logic is a lawyer with a case I can't deny. He's listing every reason and he's asking how and why. But my pulse is like a drummer who doesn't know the beat, leading me like a shadow down a one-way dead-end street. I'm deleting your number, then I'm typing it by hand, building my future on a sinking piece of land. It's a civil war inside me, and I'm losing every side. I'm the one who's hurting, and I'm the one who lied. I said I was over you, I said I'd found the key, but I'm the one who's locking up the better parts of me. Inside the stage, I swore I'd be my hero, I swore I'd make a start, but I'm just a victim of failing my own heart. I'm sorry to the person I was supposed to be. Before I let your memory take the lead of me, just a lapse in judgment, just a broken vow, failing my heart again. And for now, I set the table like a habit I can't break. 2 porcelain plates for a heart that's bound to ache. I fold the napkins in the way you used to like, then wait for the sound of your tires on the gravel bike. The wine is breathing, but the air is getting tight. I'm serving up a memory for dinner every night. The salt is on the rim, the water's in the glass, watching all the shadows of our conversations pass. And it's just empty chairs at dinner facing me tonight, gilded by the flicker of a dying candlelight. I'm talking to the steam, I'm laughing at your jokes, but I'm just breathing in the ash of all our heavy smoke. A feast of all the things we never got to say before you walked away. Now it's just empty chairs at dinner. The clock is ticking like a judge inside the room. The scent of your perfume is a ghost of early bloom. I almost ask you if you want another pour, before I remember that you don't live here anymore. The just empty chairs at dinner. I'll leave the lights on just in case you're late, but the food is getting cold upon your empty plate. Empty chairs, just me and the chairs. I'm not hungry anymore. I'm retracing the steps to the night that you left in a room full of noise. I was sudden and deaf. I had a list in my pocket, a fire in my throat, but I let the ship sail while I stayed on the boat. I watched your taillights turn into red dots in the dark, while the perfect comeback left a permanent mark. Now I'm talking to mirrors and rehearsing the lines of a story that's over between the fine and the fines. The air was so heavy, the timing was wrong, so I hummed the silence instead of the song. Now they're just words I should have said, echoing in the hall, painting the truth on the back of the wall. I should have said stay, I should have said wait, I should have admitted I was scared of the fate, but I kept them all locked in a cage in my head, the ghosts of the things that I never quite said. I should have told you that the coffee tastes better with you, that I'm terrified of the version of me that is new. I had a please and a sorry and a don't go away, but they got tangled up in the pride of the day. It's easy to be brave when you're standing alone, but I was a coward when the seeds were being sown. Now I'm writing them down on the back of a bill, the confessions I had and the ones I have still. Is there a place where the unsaid things go? A valley of whispers that nobody knows. If I shout them out loud to the empty street, will they find their way back to the soles of your feet? was the plain one, but the wind took the rest, and I failed the test of words. just bread. Too late for the truth. I'm staring at my face in the bathroom glass, watching the ghosts of the hours pass. The well is run dry and my eyes are stinging red from the weight of the things that you never should have said. I gave you a river, I gave you a flood. I let the salt water mix in with my blood, but the more that I poured, the less that you cared, leaving me gasping for a breath of fresh air. There's nothing left to leak, there's nothing left to spill. I'm standing on the edge of a heart that's gone still. I've wasted all my tears on a love that didn't grow, giving all my rain to a field that wouldn't sow. I've been crying for a man who was already gone, chasing after midnight when I should have seen the dawn. Now the reservoir is empty, the drought is settling in. I'm done losing sleep over where you might have been. No more crying for years. I've wasted all my tears. I saved every drop like it was gold in a jar, thinking I could heal every jagged little scar. But you used my grief like a place you could hide, while you kept your own secrets locked deep down inside. I looked in the mirror and I didn't see me, just a map of the sadness you wanted to see. But the fountain is broken, the moisture is spent, and I finally see where all my energy went. It's a strange kind of peace when the crying finally stops, when you realize you're worth more than these bitter little drops. I'm wiping my cheeks for the very last time, leaving the mountain I was never meant to climb. Empty, the drought is settling in. I'm done losing sleep over where you might have been. No more crying for years. I've wasted all my tears. My eyes are clear now, the storm has passed. I'm looking at a future that's built to last. Not a single drop left, not for you. Wasted all my tears, and now I'm through. I saw your name lighting on my phone at 3 a.m., looking for a way to patch the holes and start again. You've got 1,000 explanations lined up in a row, waiting for the yes or the maybe or the no. But I'm sitting in the dark, watching the screen go black. I've got a suitcase full of words that I'm never giving back. The air is fine addicts moved away. There's nothing left for us that I haven't heard you say. So I'm letting the silence be my answer tonight. No more chasing the wrong just to find a little right. I've run out of breath, I've run out of why. I'm letting the echoes of our history die. You're waiting for a reaction, a scream or a dancer, but the silence is my only answer. You're asking me to tell you where it all went south, but I've got a bitter taste of iron in my mouth. Every time I speak, I just give you more to bend, a new way to twist it, and a new way to pretend. I used to think that being heard was the only way to heal, but there's a power in the quiet that you'll never get to steal. It's not a lack of feeling, it's not a lack of heart. It's the only way I know to keep myself from falling apart. I'm withdrawing the motion, I'm closing the file, leaving you to wonder for a long, long while. So I'm letting the silence be my answer tonight. No more chasing the wrong just to find a little right. I've run out of breath, I've run out of why. I'm letting the echoes of our history die. You're waiting for a reaction, a scream or a dancer, but the silence is my only answer. No more typing, no more sighs, no more how are you, and no more lies. Just the sound of the room, just the sound of me free. Silence is all you get from me. I walk on tiptoe through the center of the room, afraid a heavy step might seal my final doom. You talk in thunder, you move like a storm, while I'm just trying to keep my edges warm. I see the hairline fractures where you touch me last. Every word you whisper is a stone that you've cast. I'm transparent, you can see right through the chest, to the rhythm of a heart that never gets to rest. 'Cause I've got a heart made of glass, and it's starting to crack. Once the pieces scatter, there's no coming back. I'm beautiful and fragile, I'm sharp and I'm clear, but I'm shivering from the vibration of fear. One more goodbye,
heart made of glass. I used to be a diamond, or so I was told, but the pressure of your love turned the fire into cold. Now I'm catching the light in 1,000 different ways, reflecting the shadows of our bitter lonely days. You handle me like granite, you grip me like steel, forgetting that I'm breakable, forgetting I can feel. Don't breathe too hard, don't raise your voice. I'm standing on the edge of a jagged little choice, to let myself shatter and fall to the floor, where you can't ever hurt me or touch me with a heart made of glass. Handle with care, that's what the label said, but you tore off the warning and left me for dead. Careful now, I'm about to break. Thought that losing you would feel like floating into space, weightless and untethered, looking for a different place. But the air has turned to iron and the floor is made of lead. The space you left is heavy as the words we never said. I'm dragging through the hallway, moving through a thick parade of all the light we captured and the way it's starting to fade. They say that nothing's lighter than a heart that's finally free, but this nothing is a mountain sitting right on top of me. Because your absence is a weight I wasn't built to carry, a ghost in the corner that I never meant to marry. It's the pressure in my lungs, it's the gravity of gone, the anchor in the middle of a cold and grayish dawn. I'm sinking in the middle of a perfectly dry room, crushed by the silence and the shadows and the gloom. The indentation on your pillow hasn't leveled out just yet, a canyon in the fabric, a monument to regret. I try to lift the covers, but they feel like soaking sand. Everything is heavy since I let go
in the gloom. One step forward feels like a mile. Trying to remember the lift of your smile, but it's heavy. God, it's heavy. The weight of you not being here. The steam is rising up to meet the bathroom light, hiding every tear that's falling out of sight. I turn the handle till the water's burning hot, trying to scrub away the us and everything we're not. The towels are cold against the palms of my hands, while I'm washing off the salt of all our broken plans. No one has to know, no one has to hear the sound of a heartbreak finally coming clear. I'm just crying in the shower, letting the river run, hiding from the damage of everything you've done. The water masks the sobbing, the soap masks the pain. I'm waiting for the drain to take away the stain in this 4x4 kingdom. I can finally let go, where the water's the only one who has to know. My skin is turning red, but I don't feel a thing except the heavy echo of the words that still sting. I'm leaning my forehand against the plastic wall, counting every droplet, watching how they fall. I'll stay in here forever, or until the water's cold. 'Cause out there in the hallway, I'm just doing what I'm told. Outside the door, I've got my I'm fine face on. I'm a master of the mask since you've been gone. But under the spray, I don't have to be brave. I can sink to the bottom of this porcelain wave. I'm just crying in the shower, letting the river run, hiding from the damage of everything you've done. The water masks the sobbing, the soap masks the pain. I'm waiting for the drain to take away the stain in this 4x4 kingdom. I can finally let go, where the water's the only ones to know. Turn the faucet off, dry the eyes again, step out on the mat and pretend it's the end. Just a little steam, just a little wet, not a single trace of the regret. The sound of a heavy towel hitting the floor and a bathroom door clicking shut. foundation started shaking when you said we needed space. Now I'm staring at at the carpet, trying to find a solid place. The floorboards are like water, the joyous are made of glass. Watching every certainty and every memory pass. I reached out for the door frame, but the wood turned into smoke. The heavy air is gasping from the promise that you broke. There's no bottom to this feeling, no safety in the hole, just a vertical surrender and a never-ending fall. And I'm falling through the floor, plummeting through time, searching for a reason or a ladder I can climb. The kitchen and the bedroom are just shadows in the sky, as the gravity of goodbye looks me right into the eye. I thought I had a grip, I thought I had a door, but I'm falling, falling through the floor. I see the dinner parties and the clothes upon the line, whizzing past me in the dark, a life no longer mine. The rugs are being pulled away, the tile is giving in. I'm a victim of the emptiness where us has always been. I try to find a ledge to grab, a brick to hold my weight, but you can't fight the physics of a predetermined fate. Down and down I'm drifting, where the light begins to thin, waiting for the impact of the end to finally begin. But the basement never happens, and the ground is nowhere near, just the rush of cold wind and the ringing in my ear. And I'm falling through the floor, plummeting through time, searching for a reason or a ladder I can climb. The kitchen and the bedroom are just shadows in the sky, as the gravity of goodbye looks me right into the eye. I thought I had a grip, I thought I had a door, but I'm falling, falling through the floor. Nothing left to catch me, nothing left to hold. The story's getting darker and the air is getting cold. Still falling, still falling. I'm not even on the ground anymore. I'm picking up the shards of a mirror on the floor, trying to find the face I had before you reached the door. Every piece is jagged, every edge is razor thin, but I'm stitching up the gaps where the cold is blowing in. It's a violent kind of mending, a heavy kind of cure, to burn away the parts of me that weren't quite so sure.
They say the bone is stronger right where the break was made, but no one mentions the cost of the debt that must be paid. And I'm hurting just to be whole again, tearing at the seams, waking up the spirit from these suffocating dreams. I've gotta break the habit, I've gotta feel the sting, to remember how to fly without your broken wing. It's a long way back from the bottom of the soul, and it's hurting just to be whole. I'm clearing out the closets, I'm scrubbing down the halls, stripping off the paper from the bedroom's lonely walls. It feels like losing skin, it feels like losing light, but I'm reclaiming the territory in the middle of the night. I'd rather feel the ache of the empty space I've grown than the comfort of a lie that I've always secretly known. Sometimes you have to shatter just to see how you fit. Sometimes you have to wander through the darkest part of it. Healing isn't pretty, it isn't soft or kind. It's a battle for the pieces that you left behind. Exactly who we are. It's painful, but it's real. I'm learning how to live, and I'm learning how to feel. Hurting to be whole, finally whole. I see it in the way you check your watch when I speak, like you're looking for a window, a getaway you seek. You're physically in front of me, but your eyes are down the road. I'm still holding up the bridge while you're dropping off the load. It started with the small things, the forgetting a call. Now I'm just a framed picture hanging crooked on your wall. You didn't run for the exit or make a sudden scene. You're just fading like a Polaroid that's lost its golden green. You're leaving me behind slowly, 1 mile at a time, turning off forever into a petty crime. I'm reaching for your jacket, but you've already checked out, filling up our history with the static of the doubt. It's the longest goodbye that I've ever had to know. Why
sitting on the sofa, but there's a canyon in between. I'm trying to bridge the distance of the things you haven't seen. You stopped using my name, now it's just a hey or you, declassifying everything that we once knew. I'm becoming a footnote in a book you've already read, just a ghost of a heartbeat in a cold and empty bed. I'd almost prefer the screaming, the slamming of the door, than this quiet evaporation of the us we were before. You're stripping off the layers till there's nothing left to peel, making me wonder if any of it was real. You're leaving me behind slowly, 1 mile at a time, turning off forever into a petty crime. I'm reaching for your jacket, but you've already checked out, filling up our history with the static of the doubt. It's the longest goodbye that I've ever had to know, watching you stay while you're learning how to go. Inch by inch, day by day, I'm watching the you I love just drift away. You're still in the room, but you're already gone. I'm staring at a screen that's lost a signal feed, just a million tiny dots bleeding what I need. I try to think of us, to see your face so clear, but there's a hum inside my skull, that's all I ever hear. The frequency is off, the dial stuck between the person that I was and the ghost of what you've been. I'm reaching for a memory, a flicker of the light, but the transmission's breaking in the middle of the night. It's just static in my head, white noise in my chest. I'm looking for the words, but I'm failing every test. 1,000 I love you, scrambled in the air. I know you're out there somewhere, but I can't find you there. Every thought of you is a wire turning red, lost in the static in my head. I went back to the house, I stood out on the street, trying to find the rhythm of our heavy dancing feet. But the neighbors changed the colors and the garden's overgrown, and my mind is like a radio that's lost its only tone. The harder I try to remember how we felt, the more the picture starts to blur, the more the colors melt. Is it a defense? Is it a wall? Is my brain just protecting me from feeling it all? Because the silence is too loud and the truth is too sharp, so I let the white noise play the strings of my heart. It's just static in my head, white noise in my chest. I'm looking for the words, but I'm failing every test. 1,000 I love you, scrambled in the air. I know you're out there somewhere, but I can't find you there. Every thought of you is a wire turning red, lost in the static in my head. Can you hear me? Are you receiving, or am I just a signal that you're far? I checked the driveway, but the oil stays dry. The neighborhood is sleeping under a bruised purple sky. Your toothbrush is missing from the ceramic cup. I'm staring at the ceiling, waiting for the sun to wake up. The coffee's getting bitter in a pot for two. I'm still setting the table like I'm waiting for you. The keys are on the counter, but the car is gone. I'm caught in the middle of a never-ending dawn. Where did you go? Did you vanish in the rain? Did you find a map that leads away from all this pain? I'm screaming at the echoes in the hallway of our home, but the dial tone is the only song I've known. You left a hole in the shape of a soul. Tell me, where did you go? I walked to the park where we carved our names. The wood is rotting under seasonal changes in games. I asked the wind if it saw which way you turn, but the wind only blows through the bridges we burned. Are you in a city where nobody knows your face, or are you just hiding in a different kind of space? Did I miss the warning? Did I miss the sign? Was I reading the prose while you were skipping the line? The bed is a desert, the sheets are a sea, and I'm drowning in the where you used to be. Where did you go? Did you vanish in the rain? Did you find a map that leads away from all this pain? I'm screaming at the echoes in the hallway of our home, but the dial tone is the only song I've known. You left a hole in the shape of a soul. Tell me, where did you go? Where did you go? I'm still standing at the door. Where did you go? I don't recognize this floor anymore. Just a footprint in the dust, just a memory I can't trust. Where did you